what's up? My name is John Bonjour. I am a comic artist and film enthusiast, and I am doing a series of videos that I am calling Why It Should Win Best Picture, wherein I discuss each of the Best Picture nominees for the Boscos, and I talk about why I think I give 3 or so reasons for why this is a specific movie that deserves to win Best Picture, what sets it apart, and what makes it unique. Today we are talking about One Battle After Another. The film is the story of a washed-up dad who also used to be a revolutionary, re-entering the cause to save his daughter. It is also the story of the funniest little carpet roll I've ever seen in my life. One Battle After Another is perhaps the most important movie of our current time. This is the most topical film I think I've ever seen. The movie that touches on the most important, extremely relevant things that are happening literally right now. Last week, as I'm recording this. This is a movie that is talking about the current day issues. In fact, it's a movie that kind of predicted the current day issues, which is horrific. But it's also, I think most importantly, a story that is not clear in its delineation between good and bad. It's a story that is interested in having the actual conversation, which I think is really important. There's a version of this exact same movie that ends up feeling extremely preachy and overwrought and what some people might call, and I hate to even say this word on a video of mine, but woke. Which is, by the way, just as a side note, if your complaint about a movie is that it is too woke, I'm going to need you to do 2 things for me. 1, find a bunch of different YouTubers to listen to. Just a bunch of them. And not ones that are recommended to you. Because your algorithm, it's gone. It's in the pooper. You are entering a very dangerous bubble of sadness and disappointment. That is the journey you're going on. And B, 2, never once consider that an actual criticism of a movie. If you have a problem with a film and you think to yourself, wow, this movie's too woke, reconsider what your problem is with the film. Maybe there's something there, but it's not that. Like, that isn't an actual criticism of literally anything. You can think that characters don't feel true. You can think that they don't feel genuine. You can even be honest with yourself and say that you're frustrated with the subject material in a movie. That's perfectly, a choice you can make. That's fine. But if you are one of the people who genuinely uses woke as like an actual criticism of them, just stop. What I was saying, there's a version of One Battle After Another where it does end up being extremely preachy and just preaching to the choir and not making any points that are worth talking about, which would be a version of that word. One Battle After Another. The film itself is none of those things. It is a delicate, complicated, interesting portrayal of a revolution, the people within a revolution, the idea of a failed revolution, a generation that failed their revolution, passing the torch and saying, I hope you can do it. I hope you can do what we never could. It's got themes of generational passing down. It has themes of interesting revolution. And again, some of the things that are discussed in this movie are wildly important to be talking about right now. And does One Battle After Another solve any of those things? Absolutely not. But it's talking about them. And it's talking about them in nuanced, complicated ways. In fact, so much so, and I'll get to some of this later, but Benicio del Toro is a character that is, I think, the foil. It is to our Leonardo DiCaprio character, who Leo DiCaprio, he is the guy who fully washed up. He was the one who couldn't make it, just could not be the revolutionary. Benicio del Toro is, I think, this movie's example of what a revolutionary should be, and that's someone who cares about people, someone who's calm, quiet, reserved, and willing to do the work to actually help people and not just blow shit up for fun. Speaking of Benicio del Toro, the second thing that I think is so intrinsically important to this movie is the trinity of performances that hold it together, which is Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, and Leonardo DiCaprio. I would also give, I don't know, maybe it's a square. Maybe it's a square with Chase Infinity. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, it is a square with Chase Infinity. Her character, what is written for her character is a little bit easier to kind of get your head around. The other 3 are characters that are so outlandish and, silly isn't the word, but they're verging on silly. They're very, very, very close to being silly. And that is a very hard line to ride, and the movie rides it perfectly. One of my favorite things about this movie is that those 3 performances that should be over the top, ridiculous, and dumb end up being real, human, broken characters that are way more interesting to watch. And then finally, from a visual perspective, the cinematography of this film is masterful. When it was announced that, I believe it got a nomination for cinematography as well, and I was like, yeah, I mean, okay, sure. In giving it another look, in thinking back through it and watching through the movie, it is one of the most visually communicative films of all time. It is fluent in visual language, and I think that's really impressive. Everything from little visual jokes and gags to the tension building and rising in this movie, it all relies on the visual element of the film, and it looks beautiful. I mean, it's just a delicious looking movie, which is very impressive if you have to accomplish all the communication as well as making it just good to look at. That's a hard thing to find, and this movie does it beautifully. Specifically, I just want to note there's a chase sequence on a highway. There's this concept of ocean waves. Benicio del Toro keeps talking about ocean waves, and it's the idea that you need to be just like calm, just let it roll over you. The chase sequence happens on a very hilly road, a road that is full of hills. I don't know how you would say that. I don't know, like it's up and down, you know, is what I'm saying. But the way that this is shot feels fluid and exciting, and it makes the chase sequence, even though it isn't an exciting chase sequence in the sense that it's a lot of just going straight, but it makes it feel exciting because you're on these ocean waves with the movie, with the characters. You're seeing cars kind of roll over, crest over these road waves. It is a radically engaging visual film. It is also just One Battle After Another, I think, is a spectacular movie. If you haven't seen it, I can't guarantee that you will like One Battle After Another. I can guarantee that you should see One Battle After Another. It is a phenomenal piece of filmmaking that I think genuinely deserves to be in the running for the best picture at the Boscos. If you've seen it, what did you think of the movie? Do you agree with all my points? If not, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite color? Thank you so much for watching this video and checking out my channel. If you'd like to hear more of my thoughts on movies, comics, TV shows, anything the like, hit the subscribe, and comment down below what you want me to talk about next. I will be going through all 10 of these Best Picture nominations, so please stick with me and watch those videos.